What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Fred Leonard, subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. And we are excited to be seeing you. And we are coming to you at an incredible time inside of our industry from an incredible place in the industry. We are in Tooele, Utah.
Tooele, Utah. It's on the other side of the mountain from Salt Lake City. I mean, literally, you got to drive by the Salt Plains. It's a beautiful drive out here, but it's like such beautiful country. It's very, it feels very Western out here, doesn't it, Lou? Like when you get out here, do you imagine horses and buggies? That's how you feel, and you see it actually as you go down these roads. But there's a lot of transportation problems being solved in this area, and we're excited to be here to be able to help out. The Marcosian Auto Group here is doing some big things, and we're blessed to be able to come out here about once a quarter and spend some time with their team and really encourage them and give them some new tools and tactics to be able to grow. So I'm excited about it.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, you know those the emoji of the mountain with the snow caps on it and the green below.
This is it.
If you could see out on the other side of this wall, it's exactly what it looks like out here, everybody. And it's absolutely beautiful. And what it is that's inside of this beautiful is just as stunning and is just as beautiful to us, seeing car guys and car gals get together to make this entire facility become what it is. It's fantastic, and we absolutely love it. And because we love it, and we love the super incredible places that we get to go and the super incredible people that we get to do this business life with, we are pumped up that you get to be with us as we go through this DC20 Unlocked episode, as we talk about this incredible super user and how they're taking this incredible technology to the next level. And we're pumped up about it.
You know, they actually created a whole position just for her, because when you have this many rooftops, when you have this many dealerships that are inside one group that are using the same uniform CRM, which is smart. I'm going to tell you folks, if you're using multiple different ones, it's better to get uniform, but having one person to be able to make sure that it's going seamless as possible is so crucial. And that's what this Solutionary is doing. And they really made this whole, like this position just for her. But man, it's such a needed position. I think you're going to see this happen in more auto groups out there. I'm excited to talk with her because I know that we just saw her at the last DC20, Lou, back at the beginning of March. And she is a ball of energy. We saw her during the event. We saw her in the after hours when we went up to the excursions, which great time. But definitely a ball of energy, somebody that we look forward to having on the show. And now that the dust is settled from DC20 and she's back and ready to go, we have her on the show. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, this is exciting. So we got to do what it is that we got to do. And you got to do what it is that you got to do. And tag a car guy.
And tag a car gal.
And share. Get
it out there.
The word out, everybody. Go ahead and get other people into the mix. Maybe asking questions, saying some things. I don't know. We're ready to have some fun. But one thing that is consistent that happens with the DC20 DriveCentric family is that we have a good time. We have some fun talking about the energy that there is when so many great people come together to make an advance inside of automotive. And this super user is an incredible one that is definitely challenging us on getting our name pronunciations right. So we're going to give it a shot right now. Car guys and car gals, help us to make welcome to this DC20 Unlocked episode, the one,
the only Rebecca Boczkowski.
Hey guys, you did good. The Z is silent though, but otherwise you did pretty good. Much better than I've heard.
Boczkowski.
Yep, you got it.
High five. We were close.
Close
We
enough.
appreciate you getting us. We should have asked before, but we wanted to try. We have
That's
to
all
try.
good. That's all good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, good old green pea effort, right? So.
Yes, no doubt, no doubt. I love the effort.
Well, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for giving us some time today. I know how busy your schedule is, and to take away even 30 minutes of that time could be like a lot of time in your world. So I get that. So thank you so much. We are honored to have you on. You know, when we left DC20, before we left, we had talked about with Audrey, hey, there's a lot of people here that we'd love to have on the show. Your name popped up. She reached out to you, and of course, you were gracious enough to go ahead and say, let's do it. So
let's do this.
Thank you so much. You're the last one of the month of March that we're doing. So welcome to bookend this amazing month. It's a big month for me. March is massive when inside my family with love and birthdays and so many things going on. So to be able to throw this in this special month and have you come in, you're an honored guest. And we're excited to have you.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Well, pumped up that you are on the show with us right now, and we really want to make sure the presence we put the microphone back in front of you, and we interview you live wherever it is that we are. But speaking of places we've been, we were at the high energy that there is outside of a DC20 event. For those that haven't been there, and I know plenty of people get tired of hearing us talking about how, and they just need to get over it because we're going to keep doing it. But
they're awesome.
What do you say about the energy that there is showing up to an event like that?
Yeah, so I mean, the very first night, we were kind of in the hotel lobby and running into people, and the energy started immediately. I mean, even just checking into the hotel, the hotel staff, the energy was buzzing. We ran into some of the speakers at the bar. Glenn was there, and so we got to sit and chat and talk with him, and everybody was excited and pumped. And the greatest thing about it is you can just feel the environment of sharing. Everyone's there to, you know, take a little something back from others and like ready and willing to share. Nobody's kind of like, you know, locking the answers behind a door. Everyone's there to learn and grow from one another. And that just continued on the entire time we were down there.
Heck yeah.
And that's an amazing thing to see. You know, you see it, which is beautiful. You get a great perspective looking at as many rooftops as you look at inside one group. You get to see how it's working through these types of people, how this type of management works with this, how certain types of brands work with that. So that's pretty cool that you get that, because you guys even have a used car store too. So you understand how all that's slightly different. They're all the same. We all sell vehicles, right? But the way that we sell cars, even the lenders that we use and how we use those lenders do change slightly when you're doing that. So being able to communicate to your customers using the right CRM is massive. For you, what was the driving force that brought DriveCentric to where you're at? Was it there when you first got there, or were you somebody who was an advocate of having it there?
Yeah, so we just transitioned our final store in November to DriveCentric. So we did have 4 stores that were on for about a year as test stores. We started launching the remaining 11 stores in September, and the final store launched mid-November. So we now have all 15 locations live. And it was
Drive?
Live with Drive, yes, 100%. So it was a much needed change, the way that you can communicate with customers. You know, it brought us into to modern times. And I think it was just there were some things lacking with, you know, our previous provider, and it was time for that change to happen. I did get a chance to actually, I guess, demo it prior to those 4 stores launching at a store that was live with Drive. And so every time I saw my director of sales, I'm like, when are we going to get DriveCentric? When are we going to get DriveCentric? And now here we are. All 15 stores are live with Drive, and it's great.
That's awesome. That's
love
awesome.
That is, being live with Drive is key. You know, I love that branding that they have. You know, I'm sure you know Steve, and Steve is an amazing just advocate of obviously he's the chief evangelist officer, right, for the company. And he's all about that, and being live with Drive. It's big because it's a feeling that you have, that even just those words bring a good energy. I'm live with Drive. You know, it's a positive thing, because a lot of times we look at CRMs as something that's extra work, where at the end of the day, the CRM actually helps you take care of that work faster and more efficiently without having to worry about missing something, right? It's all there for you to be able to have that tool, you know, so that's great. So being live with Drive, having that at all the stores, being uniform, what's been the biggest benefit of that so far?
The user friendliness of this platform is amazing. So we have, of course, with 15 rooftops, we have people that work for us that are all different ages, all different technology skill levels. And, you know, even some of the guys who have been selling cars since before I was alive are able to use it and use it well. And they can send videos, they can text, they can email. From a corporate or, 30,000 level view, it's easy to see everything that's happening at all locations at one time. Like I can log in and I can see every single message that's coming into the group. I can see every single lead that's coming into the group. So it's just, it makes it really easy to be dialed in 100%, know exactly what's going on at each rooftop. And I can get as granular or as broad as I want, depending on what I'm looking for.
And that is an incredible benefit of just the technology, is that you can go as far out to get a big scope of what's going on, and you can get very, very fine-tuned in there. And I mean, like microscopic information you can find. And it's exciting, especially when you're trying to lead a big ship of people and trying to move with a rudder that needs to make sure that the turn actually happens, right? Because we do prepare lots of reports. We do prepare lots of information, lots of meetings with people, and everybody leaves there with to-dos. And then they often come back with a lot of those to-dos. Oh yeah, I still got to do that. We still got to start a process for this. We still got to create this. And instead, when you have the right tools in front of you and you have the right data in front of you, you can really leave there with some good actionables that people know how to get what's intended to be done instead of just leaving another meeting saying, well, can't wait to come talk about the same thing we talked about last meeting.
Right.
What have you been able to see as far as the response of your people when being able to give them the direction and then know confidently that they can execute? What have you seen as far as the belief be for your people with such great tools?
Yeah, so I think there was initially a lot of, I don't want to say skepticism, but just, I'm telling everyone this product is great, this tool is great, you're going to love it. It was such a drastic change for us in our group that a lot of people weren't necessarily bought in when we first started launching the stores. I had the benefit of coming, I had been with the group for 5 years. I had experience. So I wasn't just like some random guy coming in off the street and saying, oh, this is what we're going to do. We're going to send videos and, you can text your customers and don't use your cell phones. So I had a little bit of buy-in that way. And what I kind of told people when we first started launching is give it 6 months. In 6 months, you're going to love it. I understand that it's different than what you're used to, and it's going to definitely be a little bit of a learning curve for some of you guys. But in 6 months, you're going to feel totally different. And I had guys that came up to me at the store that I came out of that are like, this is great. I never thought that I would be excited about sending videos, and they are some of the best users that we have in the group, and they're not, 20 something guys that are, tech savvy. So, there is a little bit of a learning curve. It took a little bit of a time for us to get there. And of course, there's always going to be, people on the outside that just, they're not in it, but especially when you're dealing with this many people. But overall, we're super happy with DriveCentric. And I think it's just been great overall. And the belief is 100% there. The buy-in's there.
Oh, that's amazing. And I love that you tapped into it. You're very humble. What I love about you and why you're in such a good position and you're exactly the type of person that needs to be there is because you have 5 years of experience of being, whether selling cars, which you started selling cars first, and then you became a sales manager and worked the desk for a long time, right? So being able to have that perspective, and that's why I love that you're talking about that, because you can actually translate that to the sales staff. Say, hey, look, I've been in your shoes. Yep. I'm telling you, this tool is exactly what I would have loved to have the capabilities that this has. This is, we were shooting like slingshots. You guys have laser guided missiles. So let's use laser guided missiles and let's crush it together, So I love that you tapped into that slightly, but I want you all to know this, that she's a veteran. She knows what she's talking about. She's been in the trenches. She knows what types of tools help her be able to move more metal and to be able to speak to her customers a lot easier. And using video today is silly if you're not. I'm telling you, shame on you. If you want to keep making excuses every month why you can't sell more cars, start there. Just start doing videos. You'll be surprised. Communicate with your customers. Quit sending them texts. Send them a video that they hear your tonation of your voice, the way that you speak to them. Because it's not necessarily the words that we say unless we type them. Then it is the words that we say, but it's how you say it. People don't really pay attention to the words. They want to feel something. So it's so much better to show a video, show them like looking at vehicles, show them everything, what your desk looks like, how it looks like to pull into your dealership. It's so fun to be able to do things like that. And you can all inside this tool. And I love that there is a slight slow buy-in because that happens, no different than whenever I went from having a regular PC Windows based and I went to Apple MacBook. It was a different transition. But you know what? So well worth it once I learned how to use it. And now I don't have to worry about none of the freaking crazy viruses. I don't have all these issues with my computer now, and it runs so much better. But I had to learn to switch after, 20 years of messing with Windows based, right? So, but what? It was the best switch I ever did. And once I learned, it's a much easier tool for me. I'm able to communicate better, the whole nine. I mean, it gets down to my phone too, So it's all that stuff. So anyway, I love what you're talking about here. And that leads into what I would love to ask you about is, I know that there is a slow buy-in. What are you doing with the people that don't really want to, because that's kind of like the big frustrating question. Like, hey, listen, there's half my staff doesn't want to do it. So why get it? What are you doing to incentivize people or encourage them to go ahead and start trying to utilize the tools inside the CRM?
Yeah, so I do a lot of one-on-one training. I do training in small groups. I do large group training, do virtual training. So I try to come to my team where they are. I work a lot with the sales managers. I talk to the GMs. I report on our weekly GM call. But we have done some competitions, like a best walk-around competition, best overall video competition, where there's cash prize and excuse me, lunch involved in that. So just to kind of get things rocking and rolling and show them, the importance of getting in the habit of sending those videos. But ultimately, once they start doing it, or you've got a couple of people in one location doing it, they start to see those results. We have some locations where our appointment show rates are 30% higher for customers who received a video the same day than customers who did not receive a video. And that is huge. So I can take these numbers, and like I said earlier, I can get granular. So I can show an individual user the direct impact on their own individual metrics, as well as the store's metrics. And when you have the data to back it up, and you have the more car sales to back it up, and happy customers and good surveys and good reviews, it's easy. You just have to get a couple guys on, and then it spreads from there. And just being available to answer questions and provide support and try and be as knowledgeable as I can for them. And we're rocking and rolling.
You are on the money with all that. Great. See, I love that you're being proactive about how to make this work instead of being reactive, because the problem with most car people is we're super reactive. That's our business, right? But if we're proactive with good reactions, we're the best, right? And that's when businesses run good, culture is always good, and people are selling more cars than they could ever imagine, right? So I love that. We got some great people. We got Dylan saying, let's go. And we got somebody in here saying data is key. Yes, it is. 100%. It doesn't lie to you. It's the truth, my friends.
And I think it's important too to be able to shift. So as we've kind of learned what works and what doesn't work, and what metrics are important and what metrics maybe aren't as important, we have shifted to address that. And it's important as things change and grow, and you're seeing what works and what doesn't, that you're ready to make those changes as you need to.
And you have to be able to actually know what changes to go into.
Right.
And that's the thing that's great about how simple they can make all of the data that they have, is because it's still car guys and car gals taking it and going to work with it. And we're very much stimulated by a good conversation. Good conversations are fun. When doing the task of salesmanship, or trying to work a customer to the point of either making a decision, getting information, coming in to see a car, having fun in the process, it has to be set with the tone of somebody that's having fun themselves. And the actual utilization of a tool that people like to engage with, it comes across like they're having it fun. And the data that you have, though, is that it does have a learning curve. The only way that you're going to get the reviews is when you're consistent with putting out the opportunity for the reviews. The only way that you're going to get a result from the videos is to put the videos out before you ever have the result that says that it's 30% higher, before you ever have the result that says that these things have to happen. And that curve is so important, because that's the part where you may not be bought into this yet, but you have to at least put your heart into it until you can see the result. And that's why it is important when motivating people that you put out there the result that they want and what it is that they are targeting. And when you have that many people that you're leading, how is it that you help make sure that you fuse in what they're trying to aim at to the actual mission that you have at hand from your vantage point?
Yeah, so I think it's important. Communication is key, right? So I do, like I said, training in all different size groups. And I don't think there's a single, maybe there's 5 users that I haven't done one-on-one training that are new hires, but they will get to meet me one-on-one and in small groups. And when I do those trainings, I try to find out what their why is. Why are you here? Why are you selling cars? And when you get to know people and you learn what motivates them and what drives them, then you can tie it back to, this is why I need you to do this, that, and the other thing in DriveCentric, so that you can get to that ultimate goal of your why. right? So it's just ultimately, I share what my why is. You guys know I mentioned it earlier. My nieces are my everything. My family is super important to me. And so I tie that and share that with the people that I'm training. Like we're all individuals. We all have individual things that motivate us. Some guys want to hit, 30 cars a month. Some guys want to make so many dollars a month. Some guys just want to be able to, have a good Christmas for their kids or whatever the case may be. And once you can find out what that motivator is, then you can tie back to it, and whatever it is that you need them to do, you can link them together and they'll get there.
Oh, Rebecca, you sound like a solutionary.
You literally are. I mean, I'm digging everything you're laying down right now. It's pretty awesome stuff. And it's exactly the type of leadership mentality you have to have. It all starts with the why. Everything does, it's such a motivator because people only can keep so much of that new guy, new gal energy, right? We all wish we could bottle it up and just give it back to them whenever they're about 3 months in, right? Like, here, drink some more. Because you were so hot the first month. Like, it's hard to, but when you have a purpose, when you have that reason to think about, okay, instead of not doing anything at this moment, I should be doing it because this is why I'm going to do the stuff that makes me uncomfortable because I know it's going to lead me to this path, right? Mm-hmm. It's super important. I love that you reach into that pocket and say, hey, here's my why. And it's great that you express that. Most leaders fall short there. They ask for that why, but they never tell them their why. Mm-hmm. Like they try to keep it like a secret or something like, oh, you don't know me well enough. And it's good that you share that because then people see why you do all the extra. It's really simple to see that. It's really easy. And then they can always remind you, no different. Like I love that you say that. You got to remind them sometimes, hey, listen, you need to make 20 more dials today, but you know why you should? Because you want that vacation, right? Let's get you on that vacation. Let's get you that bonus. Let's get you this, or let's get you that. So I love that you're coaching that way. That's to me, the best way to coach with heart, with love, right? And not because I need you to, because we have quotas to hit, we have this or that, because they don't care.
Right.
They have their own quotas to hit, right?
Right.
But when you stress them out about all what we want, like how we want it done, then they're gonna be like, oh, But when we say, hey, it's for you, actually, I want you to do this, not because it's more work, because this more work produces more car deals.
Right.
More work produces more opportunities for you, which means you have more opportunities to be able to provide for all the goals and dreams that you have. So,
exactly.
I love it.
There's a shift too in mindset. And we actually made this mistake launching where we use the word task too frequently.
Yes.
So talking about work plans and, quotas, and I need you to make so many calls and so many texts, and each store handles that a little bit differently. I have started over the last few trainings that I've done to use the word opportunity. So when I'm coaching about completing work plans and I'm coaching about working the pipeline, anytime that you're looking at a customer profile or a task that needs to be completed, don't think about it as a task, but think of it as an opportunity to hit your goal, to sell that car, to move forward. And that is just it's a culture shift, right? It changes the whole way that you look at everything, not just DriveCentric or this one deal that's in front of me, but it just changes your whole perspective on why you're here right now.
And everything. I love how you are describing the change of perspective, and even how taking that specific flow towards tasks. Carlo spoke about this at DC20. He does pretty consistently when he's at the DC20
shout out Carlo.
Events. Love you, brother. And there are some great speakers that make it to these events, speakers that have been on some of the biggest stages inside of our industry and beyond, to be able to convey a message that generally is fused to challenging the mindset of the leaders that are present for an event where we're all trying to refine our processes, enrich our actual relationships, and try to make sure that we are solving problems for the future for each other that are collective at that moment. Along with Carlo, challenging with the task, because I know he's very, very passionate about that. That's probably where you got challenged with it, though, right?
Yeah, I did talk with Carlo actually not too long. Hannah, our internet director, and I had talked with him, and that planted some seeds for us for sure.
Heck yeah,
I love that. Yeah. That's what it's about, and that's what DC20 is about, and that's what DriveCentric in core is about. They want to be able to help their clients like it's family. So they treat all their clients and make everyone become family together. This way, the data that you share, the information, the sales tactics, all that stuff does not matter. It helps. And the more that we help each other, the better this industry is, right? And the more likely we are to get better employees. Clients will have less guard up. all this stuff happens if we're all on the same mission together. And I love that he shared that and you took those notes and you planted those seeds. And now you're harvesting some of that stuff, but yet you're still waiting and you're still watering it. You're still taking care of it to make sure that it does grow. It's massive. It's huge. And that's a great mindset to have. That's a growth mindset. I love it.
With that being challenged inside of your mindset, what did you feel was other great takeaways from some of the other speakers? Because they really put an all-star lineup for the DC20 event.
Yeah, I mean, Carlo, we already talked about him. He's great. He just has a lot of, he thinks outside the box, right? He does things differently. I think he thinks about things differently. I'm sure his auto group has a little bit of a different approach. So it was great to hear some of those perspectives. I loved hearing about some of the mining from Matt, who you guys had on the show, I think just before DC20.
Matt Miranda.
Yep. So we heard some different perspectives on how they utilize those. And I loved the piece that he talked about. You can tell your guys to go mine, right? But do they know what to do with that list? And if you give them this random list of people that's not necessarily targeted, what are they going to do with it? They're just going to make calls or maybe even fake the calls and not even do it, right? Just so that their manager's happy.
Yeah, I think it's because they're not mind readers.
Yeah, right. But
he promises dad jokes and he brought one.
I love it. Dad jokes are my favorite. I love it. I also was able to take away, there was a bit on reporting, which was really great, where we talked with Hive Analytics and just some different ways that they, I guess, manipulate the reporting. And I don't know if manipulate's the right word, but and also some insight into marketing, which is not something I've really dealt a lot with, but I took a lot away from that breakout group as well. Just different questions to ask for vendors and things to be aware of to make sure that your vendor is working for you and not for themselves. So that was super valuable for me.
I love it. And I'm glad that you experienced that. And there's so many valuable people there. And most of them, and 99% of the time, the information comes from other power users that are at other dealerships, and that's what I love about what they do. They bring in people like Glenn Lundy, of course, and Danelle Delgados and the Tito Suaves, of course, certified solutionaries. We come in to raise some energy in there. Of course, we do training and stuff like that too, but we don't even really talk about it much because we're there to raise. We love being there. We love being around that energy. And we know that we're going to build some great relationships and network extremely well there. That's the other side. So the networking is phenomenal because they bring in special guests and you get a chance to get to know them, which means they have a whole other network of car dealers that maybe aren't on DriveCentric, but have a good perspective on how to work a CRM. I believe, and I know that I think, and I know Lou does too, and he agrees, is that DriveCentric has the best CRM out there. And it's not necessarily just the software, it's the people behind their software. It's some of the best things that are going on. Speaking of that, coming to that, getting to meet your pods. How was that experience this time around?
So we actually had the opportunity to meet our pod before we actually started launching all 11 stores. We came down to St. Louis, and we were able to sit down and do like a deep dive into DriveCentric. So we knew what to expect when we were launching. We kind of had a deeper understanding of how the CRM worked, how we could adjust, business rules and tasks and some different philosophies. Really, probably one of the biggest things we took back from that meeting with Pod 6 and Nathan was the drive philosophy. And that opened up a lot of questions where we needed to look inside at how we were doing things and what sort of philosophy shifts and culture changes we needed to have internally in order to really align with the way that DriveCentric operates. So we were able to then, bring that back and sit down, with our kind of core group. I couldn't have done this without our marketing department and Hannah, our internet director, and Alexis, our BDC manager. All those different perspectives from different sides of the business, I guess, all came together because we were able to have those questions opened up while we were in St. Louis and meeting with our pod. And that was just a game changer for sure.
Oh, heck yeah. Having that kind of attention on what it is that you have a mission to adjust and you have a mission to change is pretty critical. A lot of times in most vendor partner relationships, you're waiting for an update or if you're needing something to be fixed, it's going to take a while. If it ever gets fixed or addressed or adjusted, there's a whole lot of we have to shape to what you do and what you've committed to do, rather than we all shape to what the customers are doing.
Yes.
Because that's what's relevant. How are the customers wanting to buy? If we can adjust and be adaptable solutionaries that brew a solution specifically for that, then we're the ones not taking care of the customer, and the ones that ultimately get forgotten about by the customer that we're all clamoring to try to win.
Yes.
But when we say, well, let me adjust to you, how do you prefer it, right? Especially when brewing the cup of coffee, you're getting it specifically how you want it. Do you want a splash, or do you want a little bit extra? Do you want 1 or 2 sugars? Do you want it to be strong? Do you want it to be a lighter roast?
Man,
All of that.
I got asked, not to cut you, I got asked the weirdest question. First time I ever got asked by a barista about my coffee. I was asking for a cappuccino. They said, "Do you prefer it more wet or dry?" I was like,
whoa.
I like a little bit more wet, I think. Let's try that.
What does that even mean? I don't know.
So cappuccinos have less or more milk. So I think what they meant by that is, do you want more milk or less milk in it? So I said, more milk in it this morning. So I said, I want it wet.
See, we're still learning the coffee jargon. I mean, you gotta know these kids these days. The things they
there's always something new.
I was like, I put my pinky up when they said, I was like, I'll take it wet.
I'll have
I love it. I love it.
But man, so much fun stuff.
But that's literally what you need to have as far as your approach to helping out the users, the super users like you, and the new users that don't have the reference that you have of saying, hey, I've seen it in action. I've seen it working. This is why we're implementing this. Those users that are coming in to say, hey, this is how we do business. This is how our process is. Help me to enhance it. And is there anything that you can do to adjust it? Whereas normally that's not even a door they can peek into. Right. With DriveCentric, it's such a widening gate. I guess that's why they're right there at the gateway, right? Gateway to the West. They are literally gateways to helping find new solutions to the industry.
I don't know why they don't even use that, because they are literally right there. That would be a great
should.
Part. Yeah.
They should.
I mean, you're listening now.
Created right now.
Write that down.
Right here on the show. Inspired by our good friend, Rebecca. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, speaking of solutions and working through problems, I had a call with Amy from our pod just before I got on with you guys. And I've had a problem that's been kind of plaguing me for a few weeks. And I'm like, I don't know how to fix it. So I got on the phone with her for 15 minutes. We talked through it. And I have a solution now for a problem that's been kind of ongoing for weeks. And it's just a matter, different perspective, and they see what works for other groups. And we've seen this work in the past. This hasn't worked in the past. Here's where I caution you. And they're always really wonderful, Zoom call, chat, email, phone call, whatever, they come to me how I need them. Sometimes I don't have time for a call and I just want to chat. Sometimes I need to talk through it, and they've been excellent.
And that's exactly how we want to communicate with our customers.
Exactly.
Right. That's how our actual customer wants to be communicated with too. Crazy that's how we operate in a vendor dealership relationship. I mean, it's welcome to the future.
But I could tell you the nightmare stories of the complete opposite with many other companies.
Yeah. That's why this seems
so
amazing.
Hey, somebody will be with you soon. Days go by sometimes, there's still nothing. Oh, we're going to put a work order in for it. Nothing happens. It's crazy how that works out. And I think what I love and what I know about DriveCentric is that that is like such a big deal to them. When they hire those people to take care of those pods, to be inside those pods and all that, they're very specific style of people they're looking for, people who want to help people. Right? People who solve problems for people who are excited to do so. And they do. When we go up there, Lou and I will run through those pods and we're high-fiving. They're all in such a good mood. It doesn't matter. They may look at us, we're a little crazy, but they're still smiling and like ready to go.
And they're right.
Yes. And you're right. We are a little crazy.
We're all a little crazy in the car business. Let's just be honest.
Because we have so much spare time.
Right.
You said that in the bio that you had sent us. And I love that. You talked about game night. I'm going to ask you one last question. It's going to be about game night. What is your favorite game on game night?
Oh my God. It depends on the day, and it depends who showed up for game night. I love trivia.
Me too.
We played, I cannot remember what it is at the last game night. My sister brought it. But it was like you had to match if your icon matched with the other player, then whoever shouted out something that matched the category on the other player's card first got to keep that card. So it was kind of like trivia, speed. The little, I'm a little competitive.
I think I played that game too. It sounds very familiar. I love a big trivia game too. Every time someone brings a card trivia game, I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah. Right I'm also a sucker for poker, so I'm Texas Hold'em.
Well, are you now? Okay, well maybe next
time we run into each other.
Maybe you'll be at one of these other DC20s, and we'll have to sit down and get a poker night with some of the players. Be like, you know what? After the thing tonight, we're all going to sit down in the lobby and get a game of poker. Let's do it.
For sure, I'm down. I'm 100% down. That sounds like a good excursion. I'm just saying.
We are in St. Louis, home of the riverboats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Wow. Well, this has been another great DC20 Unlocked. We're over here trying to unlock the unfair advantage, and you definitely are showing people that your dealership saw the light. You went inside. You guys did all the research and found out, yes, this is the best place to do for our business to go forward with. And I'm so glad you all did that with the 15 different rooftops. That's a big deal. I love that you came up through the industry the way you did. Even being a CRM director, being that type of person, being able to take sales and be able to have that perspective and bring it in there, being able to learn and still be open to hearing things from other power users and using that and planting those seeds inside your stores to make sure that that's happening, being proactive and not reactive, and making sure your teams are getting the training that they need, make sure that they're ready to be able to take on and tackle this new CRM, and also for the naysayers, for them to find ways to find joy inside of it, right? But it just takes a couple champions, and you have proven that already too. So keep pushing that and keep doing that. But most importantly, game night. She kills it on game night. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have a good time. And we appreciate you for coming in. Lou, you got anything else you want to hit up?
Man, I'm just really excited that those of you that have been tuning in with us, I got the chance to hear this and hear about what it's like at a DC20 Unlocked. If you have not made it to one of those events, make sure that you get your stuff set up for success and for a whole lot of fun going to the next level and learning about your capabilities going forward. And as you heard, there's many people that come to these events and aren't already on the platform, and they get the chance to learn, and they get to hear. If they're hunting for horror stories, you can hear the little bit that there may be. Usually the biggest horror stories are those that are resisting you trying to help them with a better tool inside of your system.
That's true.
But with that, there is, like she said, a huge learning curve that has to happen based on the habits we have with interacting with customers. It's not get a whole new tool to do the same old thing. It's do crazy, awesome new things with this crazy, awesome new tool that we have. That's what we want to challenge people to keep doing, is push the envelope, because if anybody's willing to keep growing to the next level, it's our friends over at DriveCentric. And as proof of that, they have made sure to give us the opportunity to share with you the unfair advantage that Rebecca has been using inside of her stores. Make sure that you do reach out to her, blow her up. If you're watching this on the live, if you're listening to this on the podcast, or you're watching it right now, make sure that you reach out to her and ask her questions. She is a wealth of knowledge for those of you that want to see how to make this work on a bigger scale or on a small scale. Either way, she's going to be able to make sure to show you how to make it go to that next level.
Right.
We appreciate you. We're so thankful. There's only one thing left to really do, and that's drop those F-bombs. And you may have seen us do them a couple times. You may have seen how the moves actually go, but here on the show, you're going to get the chance to do it with us. So go ahead and get the hands on the shoulders and get ready to forgive, focus, and fly with us. On 3, 1, 2, 3.
Forgive. Focus. Fly.
And
keep growing. Keep growing.
Thank you so much for tuning in. DC20 Unlocked. I am Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And I'm Frelin Arts, subprime hero.
And you've been brewing solutions on DC20 Unlocked Car Guy Coffee Podcast with the one, the only, Rebecca Boczkowski. There we go.
Hey, thank you guys.
We will see you soon. We are out. Peace.